Ferdinand E. Marcos ng Batak, lalawigan ng Ilocos Norte. Inihalaan Pangulong Pilipinas. Magbibigay katarungan sa bawat tao at itatalaga ko ang aking sarili sa paglilingkod sa bansa. Kasiyahan nawa ko ng Diyos.
The motive power for progress dwells in a combination of elements provided by the leaders of a nation and her people. The dynamics of national development gains equally from the thrust of leadership and the commitment rendered by the people. President Ferdinand E. Marcos's decision in 1972 to dismantle the structures of representative government borrowed from the West marked a watershed in the Filipinos' voyage of self-discovery. Heading off the crisis of a secessionist movement, of rebellion and economic bankruptcy, he invoked the martial law provision of the Constitution on September 21st, 1972. To lead the nation on a new political course, he launched a revolution from the center. Proclamation 1081, which embodied a program of reformation for Philippine society, was a radical and far-reaching decision by one man to recast the destiny of the Filipino people. But the program was not for one man to implement. The vision of the new society needed the common man and the common will to make it a reality. Martial law, a transitional phase in national history, has demonstrated its unique character as a strategy to create and build from the ashes of the old a new society. Today, the achievements of the period have attracted attention and gained respect as a peaceful means to revolutionize society. A developmental model that is instructive for the countries of the Third World. The massive drive for total national development was based on the restoration of political stability and social order. Martial law sped up the purging of the corrupt and incompetent in the civil service, with a consequent enlistment of technical and administrative talent into government service. Reforms in national politics centered on the process of replacing the political institutions borrowed from the West with those more expressive of Filipino tradition and historic experience. The activation of 42,000 citizen assemblies called barangays draws its inspiration from the concept of the village council, which served as the basic political unit of the pre-Spanish Malay society. The barangay today, composed of 100 to 500 families formed in every village and city district, decide on national and local issues and are consulted by referendum on national questions. Barangay representatives, including youth groups, make up the Sangguniang Bayan, or local assemblies on the municipal, city, provincial, and regional levels. At the national level is the Batasang Pambansa, inaugurated on June 12, 1978. A national plebiscite held early in 1981, shortly after he lifted martial law, expressed support for a combination of presidential and parliamentary system, with Marcos as president and chief of state, governing with a prime minister. But the precept underlying the political evolution has remained constant, rooted in the welfare of the poor as a priority above all else. Various measures in the last 8 years have done much to revitalize Philippine economy. The National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA, supplied the development efforts with a planning vehicle, which revamped a sluggish bureaucracy and stirred it into action. NEDA centralized control and designed specific policies to spur overall growth and development, with a goal to ensure every Filipino's sustenance, to attack the causes of underdevelopment at the roots, mass poverty, and mass deprivation. The period from 1972 saw a significant redirection in the Philippine import-export pattern. The high dependence on primary exports and traditional trading partners has given way to diversification of goods and the opening of new markets. Major economic reforms paved the way for the improvement of the investment climate. Gross domestic capital formation has grown annually since 1972 by more than 15%. The expansion of foreign investments has enabled the generation of financial resources to meet the capital requirements for growth. Economic policy has made foreign investment an instrument for progress, setting as priorities the numerous development projects designed to stimulate the economy's growth, as well as disperse industries in the rural areas, generate employment opportunities, encourage the growth of small and medium-scale industries. Recognizing the benefits of industrialization, emphasis has been laid on the development of new manufacture exports and on locating industries in various regions, especially through the creation of export processing zones. The industrialization policy has been boosted by an accelerated energy program, which includes the intensified exploration for oil and gas and other hydrocarbons, and thus confronting the problem raised by the energy crisis. New coal deposits, such as those in the island of Semirara, have yielded new possibilities for energy sources. Cagayan Valley, Bicol, Mindanao, and Samar are being tapped for geothermal sources. 8 geothermal units, or geothermal centers of energy, are now operational. 6 are being constructed. The country is now second only to the U.S. in volume of electric energy generated from geothermal sources. Construction of the biggest hydroelectric power plant has begun in Magat Isabela. Other non-conventional sources of energy, including marsh or surface. The new society has neither failed in the recognition of man's spiritual and emotional needs, in the creation of an environment to enhance the full expression of national arts and culture. To enhance the Filipinos' understanding of the national soul, museums showcase the works of painters and sculptors and preserve for posterity the heritage of centuries. The cultural renaissance, due primarily to efforts of Mrs. Marcos to popularize the arts and improve the status of the Filipino artist, combined with an upsurge in nationalism, has brought about the flowering of indigenous arts, particularly music, drama, and folk craft. The cultural center of the Philippines has served as a home to Filipino performing artists and has hosted world talents in music, dance, and theaters.